Hey guys, today I'm going to show you an exercise called Hooklying Abductor Presses. To start off, all you're going to need for this exercise is a strap or a belt. Basically, you need something that's not stretchy. To start off, what you'll want to do is sit down on the floor like so, and you're going to want to start off by measuring the distance between your feet. So you don't want to skip this step. This is really important for you to get the correct benefit or the maximum benefit of the exercise. So what you're going to want to do is just place your feet about 5 inches apart between the ankle joints. So a way to measure that if you don't have a ruler is going to be approximately a fist and a half width, and just physically place the fist and a half right between those ankle joints, right between the heels. So just to show you that from the front view, we're measuring between those heels, a fist and a half width distance right between those heels. Now you're going to want to measure between the balls of the feet about 1 fist width distance. So what that means is that we have the feet angled inward slightly. So the outer edges of your feet are going to be essentially parallel to one another, but the inner edges of your feet should taper inward slightly. So just to review, you're going to want to sit up like so, measure about 5 inches between the heels, about 3 inches between the balls of the feet, and you're going to want those feet angled inward slightly. Now have your belt or your strap nearby. Go ahead and place it just above the knee. Reposition those feet if you lost that foot position there. And you're going to measure the distance between the knee joints to be 1 fist width distance apart. So adjust your strap or your belt to where you've got that fist width between those knees. Now from here, what you want to do is you want to scoot your butt in relatively close to your feet. Now watch what happens here as I lay back. So now the angle of my knee actually increased when I laid back on the floor. I'll show that to you again. So here the angle is closer. Now as I lay back, that angle increases. Now ultimately what you're going to want when you're laying on the floor is 45 degrees at the knee. So I actually had to move my feet away from my body a little bit more. So now that I have my feet in the right position, I'm going to set up again so that you can see what this looks like. The back side of my calf is actually touching my thigh. So you're going to want to see if you can feel or notice that same thing when you're in the sitting up position. So that once you lay back, now watch this, the angle of your knee is going to increase. And that angle of the knee should be right at 45 degrees. What that does is it places the pelvis in the correct position, exactly where we want it, nice and neutral for this exercise. And now let's get those arms into position. You're going to want your arms at 45 degrees to your body. So a good way to measure that is to start off by bringing your arms up to 90 degrees. Okay, and then sliding those arms all the way down to 0 degrees. And then from there, bring those arms out to 45 degrees right in between those two angles. So that 45-degree angle is going to be key so that the shoulder joint is actually opening up against the floor while you're doing this muscle engagement, muscle activation for your hips. So now we're going to start the exercise. This is called abductor presses. So you're going to press out against the strap, hold it for a count of 1, and slowly release. Press, hold, and slowly release. So the full sets and reps is 3 sets of 20 reps. You're going to want to go through 20 reps, stop, take a little break, reset, do another 20, again, stop, take a break, reset, and then finally you're going to do your 3rd set of 20 reps. So as you're doing this, you want to use your outer hip muscles to actually push out against the strap. Now the tempo matters here. Most people go too fast. So instead of press, release, press, release, press, release, what you're going to want to do is press out, hold it for a count of 1, and then slowly release. Press out, hold it for a count of 1, and slowly release. So you're taking 1 second to press out, 1 second to hold, and 1 second as you slowly release. Now, the other key point to this that a lot of people get wrong is you want to make sure that you do not tuck your pelvis back while you're doing the pressing motion. So really, you shouldn't be trying to do anything with the tilt of your pelvis. So what that means is you just want to let your stomach relax. Naturally, you might have a little bit of an arch in your lower back, and that's fine. As you do the press and release, there should be no rocking motion of the pelvis. So what you want to avoid, I'll just show this to you with my hands at my pelvis so you can see this. You want to avoid the pelvis rocking back concurrently as you press. And really you want to avoid that rocking back motion with this exercise. Now, it's not that rocking back motion is bad in any way. For this particular exercise, that rocking motion of the pelvis is going to defeat the purpose of what we're going for here. So the pelvis just stays nice and still, the stomach stays relaxed, and we're really isolating, pressing out against the strap, holding it, and releasing. Now, as you're doing these, what you're going to notice is a muscular contraction here in the outer hip. And you're also concurrently going to notice your upper body actually slowly, gradually, and incrementally opening up and releasing back, those shoulders releasing back against the floor. I use the word releasing, but settling might be a better word for it, as those shoulders settle back against the floor with gravity, with your own body weight, and also as a reaction to the muscle work that we're doing here in the hips, which is actually causing small, gradual, incremental changes all the way up the muscles that run alongside the spine, which is causing a nice kind of opening through the upper back and the shoulders.